Good morning, students. Let us start with the new chapter, chapter number 6, Molecular Basis of Inheritance. In this chapter, we are going to study following topics: DNA, the search for genetic material; RNA world, replication, transcription, genetic code, translation, regulation of gene expression, Human Genome Project, DNA fingerprinting. In the previous chapter, we have learnt about inheritance pattern and the genetic basis of such patterns. At the time of Mendel, the nature of those factors regulating the pattern was not clear. Over the next 100 years, the nature of putative genetic material was investigated, culminating in the realization that DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, is the genetic material, at least for the majority of the organisms. We already have studied in 11th standard that what are nucleic acids? They are polymers of nucleotides. DNA and RNA are the two types of nucleic acid found in living system. DNA act as the genetic material in most of the organism. RNA, though, it also act as genetic material in some viruses, mostly function as messenger RNA. Has additional rules as well. It functions as adapter, structural, and in some cases as a catalytic molecule. We have already learned about the structure of nucleotide and the way these monomer units are linked to form a nucleic acid. In this chapter, we are going to discuss the structure of DNA, its replication, the process of making RNA from DNA, that is transcription, genetic code that determines the sequences of amino acid in protein, the process of protein synthesis, translation, and their regulation. The determination of complete nucleotide sequence of human genome during last decade has set in a new era of genomics. In the last section, the essentials of human genome sequencing and its consequences will also be discussed. So, let us begin with our discussion by understanding the structure of most interesting molecule of the living system, that is DNA. In subsequent sections, that is in more sections, we will understand that why it is the most abundant genetic material and what is its relationship with the RNA. So let us first study the structure of DNA. It is a long polymer of deoxyribonucleotides. The length of DNA is usually defined as number of nucleotides, that is pair of nucleotide referred to as base pair present in it. This is also the characteristic of an organism. For example, a bacteriophage known as 174 has 5386 nucleotides. Bacteriophage lambda has 48,502 base pairs. E. coli has 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pairs, and haploid content of DNA, that is represented as N, is 3.3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs. So, let us study the structure of this long polymer. Structure of polynucleotide chain. Let us recapitulate the chemical structure of polynucleotide chain, DNA or RNA. A nucleotide has three components: a nitrogenous base, a pentose sugar, ribose in case of RNA, and deoxyribose in case of DNA, and a phosphate group. There are two types of nitrogenous bases: purines and pyrimidines. Purines include adenine and guanine, while pyrimidines include cytosine, uracil, and thymine. Thymine is found only in DNA, while uracil is found only in RNA. Cytosine is common to both DNA and RNA, and purines are also common to both DNA and RNA. A nitrogenous base is linked to the OH of 1' carbon of pentose sugar through a N-glycosidic linkage to form a nucleoside. Such a adenosine or deoxyadenosine, guanosine or deoxyguanosine, cytidine or deoxycytidine, and uridine or deoxythymidine. When a phosphate group is linked to the OH of 5' carbon of a nucleoside through phosphoester bond, a corresponding nucleotide is formed. Two nucleotides are linked through 3,5' phosphodiester linkage to form a dinucleotide. More nucleotides can be joined in such a manner to form a polynucleotide chain. A polymer is formed with one end with the free 5' carbon and one with the free 3' carbon. Here we can see how the 5' carbon is attached with the phosphate group at the left end of the chain, while at the right end of the chain 3' carbon is attached with the OH group and keeping the 5' end free. Similarly, at the other end of the polymer, the sugar has the free OH of 3' group, which is referred to as 3' end of the polynucleotide chain. The backbone of the polynucleotide chain is formed due to sugar and phosphates. The nitrogenous bases linked to the sugar project from the backbone. We can see that in this figure. A, T, G, C are the nitrogenous bases which are projected outwards from the nucleotide, while sugar and phosphate group forms the backbone of the chain. In RNA, every nucleotide residue has an additional OH group present at 2' position in the ribose. Also, in RNA, the uracil is found in the place of thymine. So these are the differences between RNA and DNA. DNA is an acidic substance present in the nucleus. It was first identified by Friedrich Mischer in 1869. He named it nuclein. However, due to technical limitation in isolating such a long polymer intact, the elucidation of structure of DNA remained elusive of very long period of time. So 1870 में ही पता चल गया था कि फ्रेडरिक मिशर ने बता दिया था कि न्यूक्लियस में देयर इज सम एसिडिक मटेरियल रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर इनहेरिटेंस नोन एज न्यूक्लिन, लेकिन डीएनए का स्ट्रक्चर नहीं पता लगा पाए। क्यों? क्योंकि इतना लंबा पॉलीमर इंटैक्ट आइसोलेट करना वॉज अ डिफ़िकल्ट टास्क, और इसी वजह से वो बहुत टाइम तक अनरिवील्ड रहा। In 1953, that James Watson and Francis Crick, based on the X-ray diffraction data produced by Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin, proposed a very simple but famous double helix model of the DNA. One of the hallmark was the pairing of the two base pairs of the two strands of polynucleotide chain. However, this proposition was also based on the observation of Erwin Chargaff that a double-stranded DNA, the ratios between adenine and thymine and guanine and cytosine are constant and equal. The base pairing confers a very unique property to the polynucleotide. They are said to be complementary to each other, and therefore, if the sequence of the bases in one strand is known, then the sequence of the other strand can be predicted. Also, if each strand from a DNA act as a template for synthesis of new strand, the two double-stranded DNA, thus produced would be identical to the parental DNA molecule. Because of this, the genetic implications of the structure of DNA became very clear. That is कि अगर डीएनए के एक स्ट्रैंड से नया स्ट्रैंड बनाया जाए और दूसरे स्ट्रैंड से भी नया स्ट्रैंड बनाया जाए तो दो डीएनए सिमिलर टू द पेरेंट वी विल obtain. The silent features of double helix structure of DNA are as follows. It is made up of two polynucleotide chain where the backbone is constituted by sugar phosphate and bases project inside. The two chains have antiparallel polarity. That means if one of the chain has the polarity 5' to 3', the other has 3' to 5'. What is 3' and 5'? We have already studied that the strand which have 3' carbon free is known as 3' end, while if the strand has at the end 5' carbon free, then the end is 5'. So the bases in two strands are paired through hydrogen bond forming base pairs. Adenine forms two hydrogen bonds with thymine and guanine forms three hydrogen bonds with the cytosine and vice versa. As a result, always a purine comes opposite to the pyrimidine. This generates approximately uniform distance between the two strands of helix. The two chains are coiled in a right-handed fashion. The pitch of the helix is 3.4 nanometer and there are roughly 10 base pairs in each turn. Consequently, the distance between a base pair in a helix is approximately 0.34 nanometer. The plane of one base pair stacks over the other in a double helix. This, in addition to H bonds, confers the stability of the helix structure. Let us see the structure of DNA in a more detail with this. Here, a double helical structure is given to you. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. Our DNA is a double-stranded DNA. That is, it consists of two antiparallel strands. Let us move to the detail of these antiparallel strands. So, pentagon represents the sugar, circle represents the phosphate group, and the pentagonal substances are produced inside are known as nitrogenous bases. So, this is how a DNA forms a single nucleotide. These are the four nitrogenous bases having the four nucleotides. First of all, if the cytosine is the nitrogenous base attached to the sugar, then numbering with that carbon is done as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the fifth carbon, the phosphate group is attached. So with the first carbon, we have a nitrogenous base, and to the fifth carbon we have phosphate group. Phosphate is attached with the 3 carbon and 5 carbon of the two adjacent nucleotides, that is known as phosphodiester bond. Now 5' carbon and 3' carbon, on the opposite strand we have 3' carbon first and then 5' carbon. So the strand 1 is known as 5' to 3', then the other is known as 3' to 5'. The bases, nitrogenous bases, are attached to other bases of the next strand with the hydrogen bonds. A and T have 2 hydrogen bonds while G and C have 3 hydrogen bonds. This forms a base pair. So thymine forms a base pair with the adenine and cytosine forms a base pair with the guanine. Such a base pairing forms equal distance so that the strands are at equidistant from each other end to end. So this is required to maintain the distance between the two strands. We have studied that the pitch of the helix is of 34 nanometers. So in one turn, we have 10 base pairs. So the distance of one base pair to the other is 0.34 nanometer. Now between two base pairs, phosphate interaction is present. Compare the structure of purine with the pyrimidine. Can we find out why distance between two polynucleotide chain is DNA remains constant? The proposition of a double helix structure of DNA and its simplicity in explaining the genetic implication became revolutionary. Very soon, Francis Crick proposed the central dogma in molecular biology, which states that genetic information flows from DNA to mRNA and RNA to protein. So, when DNA is formed by DNA, the process is replication. When mRNA is formed from DNA, the process is transcription. And when protein is synthesized from mRNA, the process is translation. So, this is central dogma of life. In some viruses, the flow of information is in reverse direction, that is, from RNA to DNA. Hence, the process is known as reverse transcription because DNA to RNA is transcription, but the reverse of this RNA to DNA will be reverse transcription. So, this was all about the structure of DNA, the very precious molecule of life, important for inheritance patterns and forms the vital basis for genomics. We will study more about the central dogma processes in the upcoming lectures.